I'm Barbara Rasconi. I'm here at NMX in Las Vegas, and I ran into my great friend Dave Taylor.
Hello.
Dave is a real technology whiz. He writes the blog Ask Dave Taylor, and he's also got a blog called Go Fatherhood. So Dave, as a father and a technology guy who's here at this conference and somebody who's so on top of everything, you're going to CES after this, tell us, what do you think from a parenting perspective? Is this anxiety invoking, or is this exciting? What are we going to see in 2014?
I think that we see the trends here in how people are interacting that are more and more going to be what we see from children. So I have 2 teenagers, and it's a constant challenge to have them manage their time on devices. And it's the same thing you see here. If you go to an event, I mean, it was kind of amusing. At the last session I was at, someone came in and said, all right, everyone turn off your cell phones.
Really?
And then the person who was in the front said, no, we want you to tweet, we want you to Facebook, we want you to Instagram the session.
Wow.
And what I think she meant was turn off the ringer on your cell phone.
Yeah.
You know, but it's that same thing. It's, I think that we have this, there's sort of this siren song, this draw, and especially for children, it's they don't understand the consequences of it's a big world out there and not everyone's nice.
Right.
And the stuff you're leaving, this extraordinary breadcrumb trail of information. You know, one of the things that I point out, I talk at the local high school about online safety, and one of the things I point out to the kids that always freaks them out is that with Google Street View, if you post a photo of yourself in front of your house, and I'm really enthusiastic, I can find your house, right? Without you ever having a street address or ever having a street, because I know what town you're in.
And that works for adults as well, right?
Yeah, you know, and so then there's all that, and then the other piece that I see with younger generations. Early 20s, I'm not, I can't speak for you, is oversharing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and this is something where I think that we're going to see it's a pendulum. It's going to swing dramatically away from privacy, and it's going to go too far, and people are going to really hugely overshare, and there's going to be some terrible consequences, and then it will come back. In the same way that etiquette hasn't kept up. Really, we have no concept of what is it to be polite at a dinner, right? So when we had dinner last night, I had my cell phone sitting there because I was waiting to see, a text from someone else, and yeah, we're at a trade show, and there's all these logistics things, but it was rude, but you didn't say anything. Mostly because you're such a nice person, but partially because we as a culture are trying to wrestle with, what is it? How do we have permission? What is it to have privacy? What is it to say, you can videotape me, but not when I'm doing this, or not when I'm that, or, if I drive by your house when I'm on the street, can I take a video of driving by your house and then post it? Well, yes or no, and it's not about legality, it's about the ethics. It's about how we collectively are comfortable or not comfortable, and I really see that playing out with our children. For them, the whole concept of, stuff that you and I grew up with, about privacy and about respecting other people's boundaries and about being polite and yes sir, no sir. Your friend's parents were Mr. Smith and Mrs. Jane and all this sort of stuff. It's all gone. Our culture is so informal, and I think that feeds into the oversharing, and I think that that's going to come back, and it's going to be a difficult consequence where there's going to be a lot of 20 and 30-somethings that can't get jobs, or that they have this huge dossier of their entire history online that reflects some really dumb things they did when they were 11 or 14.
Right, how do you cover up a trail like that? I mean, it's one thing to delete one picture, but then if your friends post crazy pictures, I mean, even my friends have posted pictures of themselves at parties on that, and I take it out.
Being crazy.
No, it's them.
And I want to see those.
Yeah, I know, I'm not even in the pictures, but it's amazing what people will do. Or they'll take like a very unflattering picture and put it up. And then with kids, I know Snapchat is really big right now, and everybody thinks I'm hearing this term, ephemeral marketing, or ephemeral social media that disappears like that, but I guess you can do a screen cap and that can be saved too.
Well, yeah, I mean, Snapchat has all sorts of problems, not the least of which is the illusion that it is ephemeral.
Right.
And one of the things that I always tell, not just my kids, but just any teenagers I bump into, is nothing is ephemeral. Everything leaves a trail, and now we actually know from recent data that Facebook has released is that if you type in a status update and change your mind and never post it, they actually log that data.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Well, so what's coming to mind is tattoos are very popular right now, and almost unknowingly, these teens are like tattooing their brand in an early age, and then trying to remove all this stuff might be tricky. So.
Yeah, I think that's a good analogy.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about what does your tattoo look like in a week.
Right.
It's what's your tattoo going to look like in 25 years when your skin is not quite as supple as it is right now.
Yeah. So if you had like to sum it up, some words of advice for teens and their parents this year, what would it be?
I would say have the conversations.
Okay.
Talk to your parents. Don't be skeptical. You know, yes, there is this inherent sense that you're old. You don't get this stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, having spent years or decades in technology, there's a lot of wisdom that I think our generation has that can help enlighten perhaps younger technology enthusiasts, and particularly teenagers, that there is a dark side. You know, I'm not saying don't do this, but be conscious, be aware, understand the trade-offs. And you know, so for here at like New Media Expo, part of what we're wrestling with here in New Media is that same thing, because we're setting the trends that all these kids are following.
Right, right.
And so, yeah, here's these sneaky ways to make your YouTube video more popular, but let's keep in mind that we still want to be honest and we still want to be transparent, and if you are going to have a company sponsor you, for example, you need to be clear that that's what's going on so that people can make conscious decisions. I mean, I'm all in favor of everything goes, but I really want to know what's going on. And I really want to know who's behind it, who's funding it, what the secret agenda is, and then I can decide, oh, that's alignment with my agenda, so we're good.
All right. So where can people find you online?
GoFatherhood.com.
All right. GoFatherhood.com. Thanks so much, Dave. Happy 2014, everyone.